Welcome to this Advanced Welsh Bacc student support screencast for the individual project. This video focuses on completing your secondary research. Now, just quickly, difference between primary research and secondary research is quite simply primary is research that you do, secondary is research that you use. So it's been completed by someone else. So the success criteria for your secondary research is as follows. It is a piece of writing, so you need to be writing in full, clear sentences. You obviously need to search and locate your secondary sources. Now that should be a combination of information and data. Remember that information is opinions and insights, and data is more numbers, statistics. Once you've got all that information and data, you need to present it, use it, or even extract the information that you need. Now that last part, extract, will be explained later on in this video. And finally, analyse your secondary research information and data in detail. Quite an important part, obviously, because if you're not analysing the data or information you're collecting, the question is, what are you actually doing with it? So you need to be analysing it in detail. Now, word counts, we always state this at the start when it comes to a word count. It's the quality of writing that's important. But as a guide to hitting those A-star, A, B grades, you need to be within the 1,500 to 3,000 words approximately. It can be more than that, but just be aware that it will impact on your overall word count. For a C then, what you're looking for is between 1,000 and 1,500 words. So in this next video, we're going to be showing you how to search for information and data effectively. So if we're looking on screen, this is a normal search bar, and we all know that we write what we want. So here, mental health statistics, graphs and reports. And you can see there are well over 300 million results from just searching. Now I can reduce that number and get a better quality search by using speech marks around what I want to search. So let's say I go for mental health statistics. I'll get rid of these two words and put statistics. Now that's given me just 4.5 million results. Now it's still a lot of results, but it's significantly less than the 300 million searches that I had just with a normal. So that's an easy strategy to get a better search. If we look at some of the examples of what we might pick up, I'll use one of these links, and it just simply looking through and looking for those words that are important, such as statistics, facts. And you can see this looks like quite a useful resource that'll have lots of information and data that I could use. Oh, this looks interesting. Oh, right, just give it a moment to load. So you've got lots of statistics regarding England and admission of patients for this would be a very useful secondary source because it looks like there's lots of data there. Another way is to use Google Advanced Search. Now Google Advanced Search is exactly the same as Google Search, as in you pop your words at the top. So we're going to go mental health report. I always tend to use the report because report gives information and data, and sometimes put the country, UK. Now important to search by file type, and if you search by PDF, a PDF is a published document and it's generally more reliable than any other document. So once you search that, then you get these results. Now be careful when it says add at the top. Don't click on those. If you move down and click on these are now PDF published reports. So let's go inside one of them. And you can see it's an official published piece of work from the Mental Health Foundation. And you can see there are some useful facts and statistics that I could use as my secondary research. Yes, there's plenty to use there. If we look at another example, just the second one down. Oops, sorry. There we go. And you can see, yeah, this looks like a useful source again. The jackpot when you're doing secondary research is when graphs like this have been produced for you with explanations below. Now you can screenshot these and use them in your project, or you can create the graph yourself, but you can see there's lots of range of statistics or data that you can use there. So once you've collected your secondary research, it's then on to analysing your information and data that you've collected. So we've got an example here of some data. It is in form of a table, and how you might analyse the data in that table could follow the response structure that is shown on the right now. Now, response structures, you'd be used to these from GCSE, but response structures, what they do, they help structure your response so that you cover the parts that are required to achieve the best possible mark you can. So what we've got here is evidence, explain, explore. Evidence is obviously you're looking at the actual data, you're looking at the actual numbers in this regard. It could be a quote if you're analysing information from a relevant expert within the field, or an article that has a comment from someone, but in this regard it is data. Then you look at explaining what that data actually means, okay? So you've got what this suggests is, and there's where your explain goes. Now the explore is more flexible. An explore part of your analysis can be very personal, where you give some personal insights as to why you feel or why you think the data is showing what it is. You might offer some contextual information as to why the data is showing what it is. I'll give you an example of how you might. So as you can see, we've got an example there, and the green gives an idea of like a contextual reason why the data is indicating what it is, where it talks about lockdown. Now, as I said before, the explore part is flexible. Okay, what you explore is entirely up to you, but it's got to be relevant obviously to your project and relevant to your research. So the example there, you've got evidence, explain, explore. The evidence that was used, you can see being circled now, where you've got the most severe numbers on each side of the scale regarding crime. Theft from a person and antisocial behaviour, and that's the data that has been analysed specifically. That's an example of extracting data. So rather than just commenting on every single crime that has taken place in England and Wales in the last 2 months, you are focusing on two parts, so you are extracting that data. Now, although that is extracting data, there is a way to push this a little bit further to achieve the higher marks, and here is an example. So the graph now shows obviously theft from a person and antisocial behaviour in the pink and purple in November and December, but also added then robbery and theft from a person. So you're doing two things here. You've extracted the data that you're wanting to use, wanting to analyse, and you've displayed the data digitally. So this is an example of a higher level skill, and it is quite straightforward to do, and you can use whatever graph you feel appropriate to display your data or display your extracted data. It could be that you just make another table that just has the information that you are interested in. Okay, so you would just have 4 boxes there, let's say, in the table to analyze. It goes for information as well, but it's not as easy to extract the information and place it in a graph like this. When you're extracting information, if you think about in your secondary research, that's simply just quoting the parts that you need, because you've already extracted that information out of the source. Okay, so it's much easier to extract data and display it in this way rather than extracting information and displaying it in this way, if that makes sense. I hope that's been useful in regards to your secondary research. Thanks for watching.